Imagine a single missile that intercepts hypersonic ballistic missiles diving from the edge of space. Now imagine that same missile hunting enemy warships 250 miles away. Now strip its booster, hang it under a Super Hornet, and watch it shoot down an enemy aircraft at 300 nautical miles, 4 times the range of anything the Navy has ever fired from a fighter jet. Not in theory, not on paper, in combat. Right now, in the Arabian Sea. This isn't about one great missile. It's about collapsing 3 entirely different weapon systems into a single designation that adversaries cannot predict, cannot outrun, and cannot outmaneuver. When one missile can engage ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, surface ships, and enemy aircraft, the entire calculus of naval warfare shifts. This is the Raytheon AIM-120 Standard Missile 6, and what it can do is only the beginning of what it actually means. At approximately 21 feet long and 3,300 pounds, the SM-6 Block 1 combines the airframe of the legacy SM-2 Block 4 with the active radar seeker of the AIM-120 AMRAAM. The result is a missile exceeding Mach 3.5, with engagement ranges reaching 460 kilometers, 250 nautical miles. On an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, 96 vertical launch cells can carry SM-6 alongside Tomahawk cruise missiles, creating a magazine whose loadout is invisible to adversaries until the moment it fires. That's not a destroyer. That's a floating arsenal with an unknown threat profile. What makes this genuinely extraordinary is that it combines AMRAAM's autonomous terminal homing with an airframe engineered for fleet defense, simultaneously functioning as surface-to-air interceptor, anti-surface striker, and ballistic missile defense effector. Adversaries face an impossible planning problem. Every American destroyer carries an unknown combination of missions, and no threat axis is safe. This is the RIM-174 Standard Missile 6, 3 missiles in one. The foundation is magazine depth across multi-domain threats, a concept that determines survival in contested littorals. China's HQ-9B batteries, deployed in approximately 60 locations across the South China Sea, reach 250 to 300 kilometers. Russia's S-400 Triumph fields the 40N6E at a reported 400-kilometer range. Those numbers sound adequate until you consider what Iran is deploying in the Strait of Hormuz today. Iran's saturation attack doctrine combines Khorramshahr-4 ballistic missiles, Shahed series cruise missiles, and drone hordes specifically designed to overwhelm layered defenses. The Persian Gulf's geography, narrow corridors, proximity to Iran's coastline, commercial traffic masking radar returns, amplifies every one of those threats. Let me show you why the SM-6's multi-mission seeker changes the math, and how this system solved problems the Navy didn't publicly admit existed until the Red Sea lit up in 2023. Picture the scenario unfolding right now. An Iranian Khorramshahr-4 launches from a coastal battery. Simultaneously, 6 Shahed 136 cruise missiles skim wavetops at 50 meters altitude, masked by sea clutter. Then 20 drones fan out ahead of them. A legacy system fires, achieves intercepts, depletes its inventory. The sea skimmers are still closing. The ballistic missile is now terminal, diving at Mach 8. A missile without autonomous terminal guidance requires the firing ship's radar to actively illuminate the target throughout intercept. That emission is a beacon. Iranian anti-radiation missiles home on it. The ship must choose: guide the interceptor or go dark to survive. The SM-6 eliminates that choice. Its AMRAAM-derived seeker goes fully autonomous in the terminal phase. The ship goes electronically dark, and the intercept completes. One missile, all 3 threat classes. No fatal compromise. The SM-6's performance revolution begins with a seeker the Navy essentially borrowed from the world's most proven air-to-air missile. The AIM-120 AMRAAM derived active radar seeker delivers sub-clutter visibility, the ability to discriminate sea-skimming cruise missiles from wave noise and commercial shipping in the Persian Gulf's radar-cluttered environment. That seeker activates autonomously in the terminal phase, severing the firing ship's illumination requirement entirely. This is not incremental improvement. This is a fundamental redefinition of what a shipborne interceptor can do. The Block 1B takes the next step, a 21-inch diameter uniform body, maximizing the Mark 41 VLS cell volume, housing a larger second-stage solid rocket motor that Northrop Grumman confirmed through static fire tests in late 2024. The result? Mach 5 plus hypersonic speeds, and extended ranges that outreach existing fleet inventory. Russia's S-400 achieves high intercept speeds, but remains a single-mission system anchored to large radar emitters that U.S. electronic warfare assets can locate and suppress. The SM-6 operates inside the Naval Integrated Fire Control Counter-Air Architecture, NIFC-CA, which allows a destroyer to launch an SM-6 using targeting data from an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, with the firing ship's radar never activating. Engage on remote is the most significant advancement in naval air defense since original Aegis. China's HQ-9B has no equivalent networked engagement architecture. It relies on its own radar illumination for terminal guidance, making every engagement a self-announcement. A third dimension arrived in late 2025. Institutionalized integration of the RC-135 rivet joint and EA-37B compass call electronic warfare aircraft into the SM-6 kill chain. The rivet joint geolocates Iranian radar emitters, while compass call degrades their sensors. The SM-6 can now strike targets that have gone electronically dark, because their position was fixed before they went silent. The electromagnetic spectrum is no longer just a communications medium, it is a targeting grid. Cost is the strategic multiplier adversaries haven't processed. SM-6 Block I and IA variants run approximately $3.9 to $4.3 million per round. An Arleigh Burke destroyer costs over $2 billion per hull. In Red Sea operations from 2023 through 2025, the Navy expended an estimated $344 million in SM-6 interceptors, protecting ships whose replacement value runs into the tens of billions. On February 4, 2026, RTX entered 5 landmark framework agreements with the Department of War to surge production to more than 500 SM-6 missiles annually, a 400% increase over pre-2023 rates. RTX committed $2.6 billion in capital expenditure in 2025, expanding tooling and partnering with NAMO in Perry, Florida, to eliminate the solid rocket motor bottleneck. At 500 rounds per year, the Navy can stockpile adequate magazine depth for sustained peer conflict without gutting other programs. Inventory depletion is not a strategic option when analysts estimate the 2026 crisis could exhaust current stockpiles in months. Here is what adversaries are scrambling to counter. Iran's saturation doctrine assumes overwhelming a destroyer's magazine forces a terminal gap. Fire enough, something gets through. With SM-6 production at 500 rounds per year, with Engage on remote allowing ships to fight electronically dark, with the AIM-120 Gunslinger extending the carrier air wing's defensive perimeter to 300 nautical miles, that terminal gap calculus collapses. Iran cannot exhaust a networked SM-6 magazine before its own inventory depletes. China's HQ-9B batteries face the same problem. Every radar they activate becomes a geolocation target for the RC-135 and a strike coordinate for an SM-6 Block IB. The Valiant Shield 24 exercise in July 2024 validated another dimension. RTX demonstrated SM-6 integration with the Army's LTA-MDS radar and IBCS battle management system. An Army radar on Guam can now cue a Navy SM-6 on a destroyer 200 miles offshore. The kill web doesn't just defend, it inverts the adversary's air defense architecture against them. The combat record is unambiguous. On December 26, 2023, the USS Laboon achieved the first ever combat intercept of anti-ship ballistic missiles by any SM-6, a moment unprecedented in the system's operational history. On January 30, 2024, the USS Carney conducted the first publicly acknowledged ballistic missile intercept in the Gulf of Aden. Later that year, the USS Spruance defeated a complex saturation attack, 3 anti-ship ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 7 UAVs in a single engagement sequence. Through January 2025, approximately 80 SM-6 missiles fired in Red Sea operations, with senior Navy officials reporting a 100% success rate in terminal ballistic missile defense engagements. The system's seeker demonstrated exceptional resistance to electronic jamming throughout. Today, F/A-18E/F Super Hornets aboard the Abraham Lincoln and Gerald Ford carry the AIM-174B Gunslinger, the SM-6 minus its booster, hung beneath a fighter. Iranian high-value airborne assets cannot operate within range of those strike groups without entering a 300 nautical mile engagement envelope. They cannot survive. The name says everything. The Gunslinger doesn't rely on brute force or a fixed tactic. It adapts, reaches, and draws first. Raytheon chose that designation deliberately. The SM-6 on a destroyer operates by the same principle. It doesn't need to out-radar the S-400 or out-accelerate the HQ-9B. It needs to engage before the adversary knows the engagement has begun, which is exactly what Engage on Remote inside NIFC-CA delivers. The most capable naval missile system America has ever deployed isn't a compromise. It's a deliberate strategic choice to compress 3 mission sets into one effector, deny adversaries predictable threat profiles, and fight an entire kill web from a platform that appears, electronically, to not exist. Iranian planners assume a fixed magazine, a predictable radar signature, a discoverable firing geometry. The SM-6 inside NIFC-CA makes every one of those assumptions wrong simultaneously. And by the time Iranian or Chinese doctrine adjusts, for Engage on Remote, for the Gunslinger's 300-mile reach, for Army radars cueing Navy effectors, American destroyers will already be carrying the Block 1B hypersonic variant. Flexibility isn't dilution, it's dominance, and the SM-6 is deadlier than any adversary's intelligence estimate is prepared to handle. Iran's saturation doctrine is built around exhausting finite magazines. If you were the Joint Force Commander in the Arabian Sea right now, would you expend SM-6 interceptors on every inbound drone, or hold the magazine for the ballistic threats and let close-in defenses handle the swarm? Type SM-6 or guns in the comments. There's no right answer, and that tension is exactly what Iranian planners are counting on. This is DIB Dispatch, where billion-dollar projects meet battlefield reality.